Now that you've learned how to manually optimize your campaigns in Seller Central utilizing both the new features of their advertising console as well as the search term reports, I wanted to share with you some of the same optimizations that you can do within our PPC management tool, Atomic. When you first log into our analytics section, this is the primary area where I suggest most new sellers go to optimize their campaigns. Now, this is a different view than what you get from Seller Central, as this is a high-level account overview. Now, analytics contains several different tabs, and the one that it opens on is the campaign level, which is actually the closest thing to the ad manager or campaign manager that you just saw in Seller Central. So you can look at all of your campaigns in this view at whatever date you selected. I chose a whole month of September. You can also then, if you wanted to look at the performance based on ad groups, you can do that as well. You can also do keyword and search term level. I'm going to start with the search term level since it's the area that I believe is the most important. Again, these are the things that users, buyers are actually typing in to find your products. So this is a really good overview of how your account health is doing based on search terms. Now, if you remember in Seller Central, in order to get an account overview, you needed to download those search term reports. You could do it every single month if you wanted to combine them together. Here, I just click on the search term level and I see everything in an instant. Now, every other area of analytics there's not really an action to take. The search term level does have one that you can do because, again, the point of optimizing your search terms is finding the ones that are performing poorly, like maybe this one here at 80% ACoS, and making them negative. So we've made it really simple for you to find the data that you're looking for in the given time period. And if you wanted to take an action right away, like on this particular one, once you click on that negative button, you can see that it is actually already negative in the one where it had the high ACoS at a 67%. But the total ACoS was higher than 67% because you've got this additional spend happening here as well. So what you're looking at effectively is this search term and how it's connected to all these different ad groups in different campaigns. Each one of these is referencing lactoferrin. You can see quickly here though that this one is not performing well also in this particular campaign in this ad group because it has spent almost $48 in over 16 clicks. So this is something that you definitely would want to also make negative. If you remember, there was a couple steps that I needed to take in order to do that in Seller Central. And here, all it is a simple click. Now, you could go down the line, maybe sort by ACoS and see which ones you wanted to optimize, but you can instead use our handy filters that we have here. I've already got some preset settings here. So I just want to see, anything that has an ACoS over 40%. So just show me the things that are performing potentially poorly compared to other search terms. So it's sorted by spend, so I can see which ones are the most urgent. And in our tool, anything that's over 60% is marked in red. We go by the standard where 30% is considered good, so anything below 30% is green. Anything between 30 and 60% is yellow, and anything over 60% is marked in red. Now, this is the one we just actually looked at, so I know that that one is fine, but you've got another one here at a 50% ACoS. So this is something I also would want to look at based on this new view. So here we can see, this is also an important view too, you also want to be able to know when a search term is doing well and when it's not. Now, in this particular campaign at the top here, 32% ACoS is pretty good. It's not bad. So it's not something you need to really do anything about. But in this other campaign, it's got 118% ACoS. So this is the one where it needs to actually be made negative. So again, just a simple click of the button and you can automatically negate some of these. Now, it does take time to go through each one of these. And you do definitely want to go and look at each one of these because, again, you might find that the search term maybe did well for one campaign, but it didn't do well in another campaign, as in this example. Again, you got the same thing, just over 30% ACoS, but over 123% ACoS in another ad group. So this does take manual work to go through the account. You can actually put in, if you want to see a broader time frame, you can do that. I'm looking at a month's worth of data. If you wanted to look at every 7 days, that's going to be a little bit more cumbersome. So I'll address that later with our rules. But if you remember correctly, the other thing that you want to look for is also the search terms that have spent without any sales. So not only do you want to isolate those high ACoS search terms, but it's important to also find the ones that are wasting your money. So again, these rule of thumb is if it's above 10 clicks, it's probably not going to convert it if it has not had a sale yet. So I'm looking for anything with over 10 clicks and no sales, so less than 1. So this view is going to show me all of my search terms that are spending across the entire account that are wasteful. So you can see we have one here right at the top. The whole month of September spent $86 with absolutely 0 sales. So that is something that, again, we want to make negative to clear that waste. You can see that's already been done in our tool. If it's already actually negative, you see it checked marked here, highlighting that is actually already a negative keyword. So if you keep going down the line, again, you'll find the ones that have spent and are not performing, as in this case, $33, almost 20 clicks, and no sales. You definitely want to make this one negative as well. Now, the other thing that we want to look for is the keywords or search terms that have done well. So you can also do that here just by playing with these filters. So I'll go ahead and X out of these. And then we're going to create some new ones here. Now, again, this is account wide. I'm just going to do less than 40% ACoS and at least 2 sales. I want to see, again, for those looking to pull search terms from their performance to potentially use manually in a campaign, I feel like at least 2 sales. It's probably something that has really strong performance versus just having 1 sale. So as you can see, actually just saved my PPC orders one. I probably didn't click this one. So under 40% as well. Everything on the screen that we're going to look at now is basically a low ACoS converting search term with at least 2 sales. So these are ones that you'd want to potentially pull into your campaigns manually. Again, it's a step-by-step process. You would have to go through and look at each of the campaigns, which you can do, and then you'll know just with a click of that toggle, where these campaigns are associated with and hopefully what type of product is associated with that. So once you know the campaign and product type, then you could either, use our clipboard one at a time to save these particular search terms to your clipboard for the goal of moving it into a campaign manually for you. Now that would be done by going into our ad manager and just clicking into the campaign and adding it. I don't want to go into that. I just want to show you kind of what the tool does as far as a high level overview. Now we do also have a keyword level as well, and it has much the same functionality. The thing with the keyword levels is that you just really need to pay attention to if it is a broader phrase match keyword. So in this particular view, this is pretty good because we can see that we have our targeting metrics as well for our auto campaigns, loose, substitute, close match. These are actual the performance of the buckets that are filtering search terms into these, whether it be substitutes or loose match. So you can kind of gauge the performance of a particular auto campaign's targeting type with this tool. So you can see right here, the only one that I see is pretty bad is 85%. So you can tell that in this particular campaign, you can hover over our little icon. It lets you know which campaign it is coming from. If I clicked through it, again, that would go into our ad manager and I can just pause this particular targeting type in that auto campaign, effectively shutting that off. But keep in mind, if you're working on the search terms page, you're also going to automatically be working on reducing waste that are in the buckets, that the search terms are going into these buckets. So that's why I feel like working on the search term level is always the most important thing, because it covers both even exact match or phrase match keywords, as well as broad, all the search terms in your auto campaign, and all the search terms that you're going to find in those targeting level buckets that you see in those auto campaigns. So the other thing that I want to just share briefly is that if you do this on a regular basis, again, it's going to be a lot quicker than you're doing manually within Seller Central, looking through the search term reports, or maybe going into campaigns individually and actually doing this similar kind of optimization. But in our tool, you can actually just create rules that will do everything that I just showed you essentially for you. So in our Ad Manager page, again, this is a similar view to what you get in the Campaign Manager in Seller Central, but we have a lot of different columns here, and it's all about the rules. Everything from your bid algorithm to help with suggestions that we're going to provide for your keyword bids. Do I increase a bid? Do I decrease a bid based on performance? You can put different target values here, and that's going to give you suggestions to increase or decrease bids. And then you've also got the opportunity to automate that particular function, and also create rules around looking at search terms to find negative search terms, search terms that are performing poorly to make negative, as well as search terms that are doing well in order to make them manual keywords in campaigns. So this particular one right here has rules. I can tell because there's a number next to this little cog icon here. So I know that this particular campaign is in two different rule sets. Now, generally speaking, there's only two types of rules. There is rules for finding keywords, which is positive, and then rules for making negative. Now, if you want to go into how to make those rules, you can definitely do that by looking at our knowledge base tutorials. But I just want to briefly show you how effectively all you do is put in some metrics on what you're looking for when you're looking for search terms that are converting. You can put some thresholds here. How many sales does that search term need to have before you actually are considering it to be a good performer? And what is that max ACoS? You put in all the different campaigns that have that product in it, which is very important to put campaigns that are the similar ones in the same set of rules. And effectively, we're going to look at all the search terms in those campaigns and come up with suggestions for keywords to be moved into the different campaign types. Obviously, we've got auto campaigns don't have keywords. That's why this is not applicable here. But in the other ad groups and campaigns, there are match types. So you just need to tell our tool what to add those keywords as match type wise, and it will do that for you automatically. So again, if you want to learn more about how to do this, there's also, of course, the negative rule as well. But I just wanted to really quickly show you how you can do or you can learn about these features in pro training videos that we already have recorded for you to show you everything you need for Adtomic. It's under the Marketing Pro Training section and right here under Adtomic. So hopefully this helps you understand the differences between doing things manually in Seller Central and the benefits of using a third-party tool such as Adtomic.